Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to be working with the Spellbinders Market Tote die set. This is from April of this year. And I'm going to get started here by putting together all of the little goodies that are going to go in our tote. So I'll let you know the cardstock that I'm using from Spellbinders. I've got peridot, fern, rainforest, mulberry, poppy, merlot, carrot, beeswax, saffron, seaside, celestial, oceanside, anchor, and truffle. And then from Concord and Ninth, I'm pulling in peanut, sand, and ivory. And of course, for the white, I'll be using my Nina. So I'm going to take you through making 2 of each of these items that can fit in the bag. You will see there I have some Dr. Peppers just specifically for me. I used that milk bottle to cut out a soda bottle. And then, of course, the Merlot cardstock is going to make our little label and cap for that. But at this point, I will add in some music, let you enjoy the process, and then I will meet you back as we start putting together our card. All right, so now it's time to create our tote that we're going to tuck everything into. So for my background here, I'm going to do this in two separate sizes. I'm going to do an A2 size, which is what we're working on now, and then we'll also do a 5x7. I wanted to see what the difference would look like, so we're going to go through both of those today. So for my background, I am using Seaside from Spellbinders, and that is trimmed to 4x5 1/4. I've then got my 2 pieces of peanut cardstock cut out. So for this one, the back larger piece is 2 inches tall, and then the smaller piece in front is 1.25 inches. So this is pretty short. I think for the next one, I would make the front piece a little bit taller, just because I did have to trim off sort of my inside pieces. You'll see that as we go along here. Now this die is fairly wide as going through my die cutting machine, and I think that's why I got a little bit of warp on my cardstock. You could see it had a little bit of a wave there. Because of that, I decided to use some Scor-Tape, so that way we've got this tucked down nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead here and fold. These are the pieces that are going to create the sides of our tote. We're going to put one on either side and then one on the bottom, and it's going to give us that 3D effect. And because it's folded, it'll still fold down nice and flat to go inside your envelope. So we are going to, again, grab some Scor-Tape. This is 1/8 inch Scor-Tape. I'm going to place that on either side of these little accordion folds. And I was running low on my peanut cardstock, so that is why we have done our accordions in the lighter color. Going to make sure that's down nice and tight. And then we are going to add these to the edges and the bottom of the front portion of our bag. Now, as I go to do this, I realize this is too wide, so I need to trim it down. So I'm just going to pull out my trimmer and I will cut this down to 4 1/4. So now we can go ahead and get the little accordion pieces placed on the smaller front section of our bag. There, I'm just going to lay out one of the handles there for positioning. And we're going to add this down on either end. Now for mine, I went with the folded edge out. I just thought it gave a neater appearance. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Just getting that as close to the edge as I can. And then because I trimmed mine so short, I am going to have to cut off these little sections that are sticking out below here. It will still work just fine. It's just a little shorter than I think they originally planned for. And then to help keep this nice and sturdy, we're going to place one in the middle as well, going lengthwise across the bottom of our bag. I want to make sure that those handles are going to line up all right. Again, just kind of laying this out so I can get a good position, and we'll place down the back handle. Now we'll peel away the backing on our Scor-Tape on our little accordions. And we're going to place these down very carefully. I found that the easiest way to do this was to actually pinch that accordion together so it was as flat as it could be, and then line it up with the edge. And I didn't really worry about the middle too much. It seemed to me that once we got that second side down, the middle one just kind of fell into place perfectly. But I am going to make sure it's all down nice and tight. Now we'll attach the front handle of our bag. Again, just making sure that those line up. And then for the front, we have these little sort of reinforcement squares that you cut out separately, and I'm going to layer those on top as well. All right, so now it's time to fill our bag with goodies. So I have pulled out one of each item. I'm just going to start layering these into place. It's hard to pick a favorite. I really love that broccoli. I really love the cheese. They're all really cute. This is just such a fun idea for a card. And this tote can be used in so many different ways too. We can pull in other die sets. Like, this is very, very versatile. So once I come up with an idea I like, and I will do this a lot, I'm going to take a picture of that on my phone, and then I will just sort of sit that up as a reference. I'm going to pull everything out, and now we'll get things glued and stuck down into place. Now we'll go ahead and stamp out our sentiment. This is from the coordinating clear stamp and die of the month from this past April. It's called Fresh Packed. has some really cute sentiments in it. We're going to go with a tote full of thanks. And because I am doing basically the same card in 2 different sizes, we're just going to go ahead and stamp that out twice. Now, I think this was probably my favorite of all the sentiments. There were several cute ones, but I could see myself using this mostly as a thank you card. So of course, we're going to add some art glitter glue to the back of our panel, and then we'll get that placed on the top of our card base. Make sure everything's nice and even. And then I'm trying to decide there if I want to leave that front handle completely stuck up, or maybe just a little dot of glue in the center to keep it from catching on anything. We'll go ahead and attach our sentiments. I'm going to just add a couple blocks here and let that sit for a minute or so. And then I decided, yes, I did want to just tack that front handle down to make sure it doesn't get caught on our envelope or anything like that. We'll add some ATG to the back of a Nina panel, place that on the inside. And that will complete our first card. Moving on here to our 5x7 card. The cardstock I'm using for our panel is Celestial from Spellbinders, a little bit of a darker blue. And we're going to place this together the exact same way. I will say that the more you do this, the easier it gets, along with anything else. It just makes sense. You don't have to really think about it as much. Again, I'm going to use my Scor-Tape to place the back section down nice and tight. The dimensions for the bag on this larger card are: the back portion is 3¼ inches tall, and then the front portion is 2½ inches tall. So for this one, I decided I wanted to place the handle behind the back portion of that bag. It was a little tricky doing this, trying to line everything up. And honestly, if you're going to fill up your bag, I don't think you need to worry about this. It's a detail, and yes, normally it would be attached on the opposite side, but I really don't think that for how finicky this was, at least for me to try and get it lined up, I don't think it was worth the extra effort. I will just glue mine on the inside from now on. Gotta line it up and then place it down and pull those away and then glue it. I think it's just easier to just stick it on the inside. All right, now we can pull away the backing from our Scor-Tape, and we will get the back portion placed onto our panel. And then for our little accordion folds, I'm going to add our 1/8 inch Scor-Tape on either side of those. Make sure that's down nice and tight, and then we'll get these folded. I decided it would probably be best to place the accordion in the middle of each of the sides. You could do a double and just trim off the excess if you wanted to, just for like extra sturdiness. And then, of course, we'll place one along the bottom as well. I'm going to peel away the backing on all 3 of these. And then again, to place this down, I found the easiest thing was to kind of squeeze that accordion flat. That really helped me line it up really nicely with the edge. Do the same thing on the other side. And the one in the middle just kind of falls right into place where it should be. I'm going to make sure those are down nice and tight. And we'll go ahead and get our front side of our handle in place. And I'll place down those little extra squares. The attention to detail with this, with those little X's, as well as the line, the dotted line across the top of the tote, love it. All right, and now it is time to fill up all our goodies in this bag as well. So I'm going to switch things around a little bit, still using one of everything, just kind of changing the layout, where I'm placing everything. You see me waving my hands around like a crazy person. I was dealing with a fruit fly that just would not leave me alone. I don't know if they're attracted to the glue or what, but every time I tried putting something together, boom, there it was. All right, we're going to finish up this card the exact same way. Some art glitter glue to the back of our panel. I'm going to place this on a 5x7 card base. As always, just making sure those edges are nice and lined up. We'll go ahead and glue down our sentiments. and then a little dot to hold our handles together. For the inside, again, I'm just going to place a plain Nina paper panel. And that will complete our 5x7 card. And then here I'm going to give you a look at the two together so you can see the size difference. I think I like the A2 size the best. The 5x7 is just a little bit too large for me, but I do tend to like an A2 size card anyways. Here are a few close-ups of the finished cards. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I've used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.